Hi guys, it's Carla, and the reason I'm not showing my face today is because, one, there's not good lighting, so I'll look like a zombie from The Walking Dead, and two, I want this video to be focused on my tattoo, which is my arm tattoo, and at this height of my camera, it's situated perfectly to my tattoo. So the purpose of this video is to learn how to cover a tattoo. There are many reasons why people want to cover a tattoo, not because they don't like them anymore. I mean, guys, this is temperamental. I hope that's the right word. Like, this isn't a permanent tattoo removal. It's just to hide it for, a day or so. So the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm a bridesmaid, and so I've got a wedding to go to, and the bride doesn't want a massive tattoo showing, because she's concerned it'll clash with the dress, it won't show up nice in photos, etc, etc, each to their own. So what you're going to need for this temperamental, why don't I do this? No. For this temperamental tattoo cover-up is your foundation, powder, hairspray, eyeshadow, and you're going to want brushes for the mere reason that it's easier to spread with a brush, and when you're using the concealer, you'll see why you want a brush, especially for the concealing process. So what we're going to do first is we're going to grab our foundation and we're just going to squeeze a little bit on it. For the purpose of this video, I'll cover both my tattoos. And we're just going to paint, exactly like we're painting. Yep, so this is how it looks. Of course, the foundation is not going to cover it by itself. The whole purpose of the foundation is to just give it an even coloring. So it's got an even color to it. Yep, so we blended that. Now what you're going to do next is you're going to get your eyeshadow palette and you're going to choose the orange one. Let me just get my eyeshadow brush out. Yep. And the orange color you want, well, actually you can see. Now the orange color I'm choosing is this little number over here. Yep. So we're going to grab that and we're going to place it, and we're going to dot it. Not like how you do your eyes where you go, windshield wipe or whatever you do. You're just going to dot it. And it does take up quite a bit of eyeshadow, especially if your tattoo is as large as my one. I've also heard that you can use a blue for this, but I just stick to orange because it's more closer to my skin tone than what blue is. Yep, so once we got that, just going to remove everything. We're going to spray it with the hairspray. And you don't want to saturate it, you only want little bits. So Yep. And it's recommended that you shave any hairs that's on your tattoo area just so that the makeup can be applied more easier and so you don't have like dots of hair and then the makeup covering it. It's like putting makeup on a bearded man, putting foundation on someone with a beard. It's not gonna look the best. I'm just gonna blow on that so it dries a bit quicker. Yep. And we're gonna add a second layer. In the whole process, hi Claire. Oh, sorry, distraction, kitty distraction. So I'm gonna spray it again. And again, not too much. Again, just going to blow on it. Hey, puppy. We're going to add another layer to it, so this will be our third layer. No. Oh, my hair's spread again, sorry. Now, if you've got a really, a tattoo that's not thick, then 3 layers is fine. But if you've got a tattoo that's a little bit on the dark side, or a little bit on the large side, like I personally, even if my tattoo is thin, I've got another one, my tattoo is thin, I'll still do 4 layers just because it's larger and I just feel more secure with that extra protection. But if I had a thin little tattoo, then I'd only do 3 layers. But for the purposes of today's video, I'm going to do 4 of these layers, and that will be the last layer of orange after the hairspray is dried. So now we're going to hairspray this orange. Clean my brush off a little bit. Not that I'm going to need it again. I'm just going to get my concealing brush. Yeah, here you are. So this is pretty much the reason why you need a brush to apply your concealer, unless you don't mind getting your fingers dirty. But I wouldn't recommend that because it might infringe the tattoo covering up, because your fingers are obviously not as delicate as a brush or as bristles, so you can't get into the finer corners or the finer spaces. Yep. So I'm just going to apply a little bit. And you want to apply just your regular everyday concealer, or even just a $2 concealer, any type, just as long as it's a concealer. And again, we are just going to dab it on. Don't be fooled by the lighting. You can still see it, which if you're following along or if you're going to do this later, you will see you're still not completely covered to our standards. So we're going to hairspray it again. Again, not as much, not much. That'll be fine. Gonna hairspray it again because we're perfectionists. You don't do anything half-ass. Now this part is optional. You can conceal it again, or you can go straight to hairspray. Straight to foundation. But I'm gonna conceal it again just for the purpose of this video. And again, for all the girls and guys that have darker tattoos, I do recommend you conceal it just a little bit more, because I'm not sure if you can see, but here you can still see a little bit of the writing just right there. And yes, my arm looks red raw, but that is because of this is a pink tone, I'm a yellow tone. Don't make that mistake, man. So now again, hairspray. Don't do too much. And I lost my lid. Now you want this part to dry pretty nicely. And we're going to use our foundation application brush to mirror it. I haven't put anything on, I'm just playing. Yeah. Now 1, 2. Hairspray it. Gonna let that set. And once that's set, we're going to use our powder. Everything I'm using is the Revlon Photo Ready, which in Australia is fucking expensive. And a brush. Oh, that sounded really bogan. Fucking. Nah. Fucking. Say it like a lady. And while that's doing it, I'm just gonna start blending here. You don't want to blend powder over wet hairspray. Like, I've been putting my concealer over hairspray that's still been a little bit wet and my foundation, but powder needs to have that matte look. So it needs to stay matte. Now I wouldn't recommend just going out with, you know, the foundation and the concealer on because it looks dewy, like it actually looks wet, especially because you've got the hairspray on it. You don't want it to look wet. That doesn't look natural. You see like a little tan line here? Yep. So we're gonna go in and sweep. Not sweep, dab. And I like to add another layer with our hairspray on this, which I have a caked arm. Where did my brush go? Here it is. With a brush, we're just going to conceal a little bit, and this time we're just going to use a little bit more, and we're going to trace it along the arm instead of having it on the brush first. And now, one last bit of powder. Now what you can do, and what I will be doing for wetting, is I will then be hairspraying it again. But for this tutorial, I don't really think that's necessary. Oh, I just got it again by blending it. Too much blending. There you are. Gonna take you into different lighting so you can see it. And there we have a perfectly inexpensive tattoo cover up. And yes, mine looks dewy and oily and gross and doesn't match with my skin color, but obviously when you're gonna go out, you're gonna get the proper skin colors you need, and you're not gonna look oily because you're gonna put more powder over it than I did. But this was just a tutorial. So good luck and have fun.